All right, ladies and gentlemen and programmers, we're going to do lesson 2, part 3 for the little crab. Here's your line paper notes, or at least what I call the line paper notes. Okay, write this down on your line paper notes. Where does the crab get its move and turn methods from? Okay, and the answer is it gets him from animal or actor because it's a subclass of animal and actor, but it probably gets him from animal. Okay, so here is a handout. Write this down. A subclass inherits all the methods from its superclass. That means that it has and can use all the method that its superclass defines. So all the methods in animal could be used by crab. All the methods in actor can be used by crab as well, because crab is a animal and crab is also a actor. Okay, exercise 2.9, we're going to do something. Open the editor for the animal class and switch to the documentation view. All right, so what that means is we're going to do something that looks like this. We're going to go into the editor for the animal class, okay? And right now we're looking at the source code. So you can see in the source code that somebody created a turn method definition. So we taught it how to turn. We taught the animal how to move. We had taught the animal how to at-world edge. We taught them how to can see and how to eat. So those are all the things that we taught the animal to do, therefore the crab could do it. But what we want to do is switch from the source code to the documentation view. This is a view in which it gives us kind of a snapshot of these methods, okay? And so we're in the documentation view. Let's see what we're supposed to do with it. Okay, and answer those questions. How many methods does this class have? So basically we're going to look at this. So the animal class, has how many? 1, 2, 3, you can count. How many methods does the animal class have? Write that down. Which methods can the crab use? So basically the question is, let's say that there, how many are there? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 6. Okay, so based off of those 6, which of those can the crab use? Which ones can the crab not use? And then write down which one of these are questions. Okay, some of them are commands, some of them are questions. Write that down. And this is just to have in your notes. So we have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 method. The crab class inherits all of the methods of the animal class, while the animal class inherits all the methods of the greenfoot actor class as well. Okay, another handout. Void and non-void. What do you call a method with a void return type? What does a method with a void return type return? What do you call? Answer those questions on the line paper notes. If you don't know how to do those, ask me for help. Okay, another handout. Calling a method with a void return type issues a command. Calling a method with a non-void return type asks a question. And so an example is that is void, that is not void or non-void, not void or non-void, void, void, void. Okay. Okay, good. Okay, create a crab and place it in the middle of the world. Right-click and find the Boolean at world method. What are the 2 possible answers and how do you know? Okay, so if we take a look at that. So we're going to put a crab in the middle of the world. We're going to right-click and we're going to say inherited from animal, and we're going to say at world edge. And the question is, what are the 2 possible answers considering that its return type is Boolean? Well, we know that one is false. What's the other one? Okay, answer that down. How do you know? Well, it's true and false because the return type is Boolean. All right, create a crab and place it in the middle of the world. Right-click and find the Boolean at world edge method. Call this method. What does it return? Okay, so now what we're going to do, so if we right-click and say animal at world edge, it's false. It is not at the world edge. But if we run it, oh, I guess we're going to have to mess around with it. So we'll have to so we'll have to move it, act. Let's move it over here. Act. Okay, so now let's ask that same question at world edge, and that is now true. So if it's at the edge of the world, it returns true. If it's not at the edge of the world, it returns false, which is pretty obvious from the name of the method. Okay, good. Okay, now we're going to learn about conditional statements. So we have this new code here. If at world edge, parentheses, or no, sorry, opening curly brace, closing curly brace, turn 17, and then the move is outside of the curly braces. All right, here's your handouts. Conditionals are decision statements. Write this down. A conditional executes everything between the curly braces. Write this down and then hit pause on this video and come back and listen to me. So hit pause, answer these questions, or write this down on your handout and then come back to here. Okay, so I'm assuming you're done with this. All right, so a conditional executes everything between the curly braces. So if this is true, this is the condition, so if this is true, then we're going to do everything between the curly braces, which is only one line at this point, which is turn 17. Okay, so if this is true, it's going to do this. If this is false, if you're not at the edge of the world, it's going to skip this. So it's only going to turn if this condition is true. An if statement can be executed, write instructions that are executed only when a certain condition is true. Okay, so here's the condition between these parentheses, at world edge. So if at world edge produces true, then it's going to turn 17. If it produces false, it's going to skip everything between the curly braces and then go down to this thing. Okay, so this is the act method. So it's always going to move, but it's only going to turn 17 if this is true. Hopefully that makes sense. Give me a thumbs up if that makes sense. Just kidding, I can't see your thumbs up. All right. The stuff in parentheses always has to be what? Okay, so we have our condition if, parentheses, parentheses. So whatever's in here can't produce a 10, can't produce an integer, can't produce a whole number. It has to produce a true or false, therefore it has to be what? It has to be a Boolean statement of some sort. It has to be either true or false. Okay, try it out. Type in the code above. All right, type this in and go ahead and just leave this thing running. So I'll type it while you're typing it too. Go ahead and type that in. So we're going to go in here and we're going to click here and we're going to say if parentheses, parentheses, no semicolon this time, if at world edge, parentheses, parentheses. Okay, now we're going to hit enter and do an opening curly brace. Enter, it automatically does my closing curly brace. And we're going to hit Control X and we're going to move this in here. Okay, if at world edge turn 5. So what do you predict is going to happen? Well, he's always going to do what? He's always going to move. And so look, so he always moves. Okay, and then when he gets to the edge, he turns. He always moves, and when he gets to the edge, he moves and turns. That's what should happen. Okay, let's go back. Okay, here we go. So one of the things they want you to try different things is, so I have move 5, or pardon me, turn 5, and they said they like 17, so I want you to try different numbers and see which one you do. If you do 17, he's going to turn faster. Okay, so try which one you like, and then answer which number did you like for the turning. Place the move statement inside the if statement rather than after it. Okay, what is the effect? Okay, so let's go back to my project. Okay, so we're going to go into the crab, and so we're going to go Control X, and we're going to put the move inside of at world edge, right? Or the inside, not inside of at world edge, but inside of my if statement, my conditional statement. Okay, so now if I put the crab and I hit run, he doesn't do anything, right? Well, why? Because he only moves if he's at world edge. Okay, so he's still not at the world edge. Now he moves and turns until he's no longer at the world edge, and then he stops. So that's not super handy. So what we're going to do is we're going to go Control X. We're going to move the move method call outside of my conditional statement, my if statement. What is the effect, and explain the behavior you observe for number 3? Well, basically, he won't move or turn unless he's at the world edge. So how can you force him to move? You can grab him and place him at the edge of the world and force him to move. Okay, make sure you put it back like this. That was just a little experiment. All right, answer these quiz questions, and that's it for lesson 3. Answer these quiz questions, and that's it for lesson 3. Ask me for help in person if you need it.